Welcome back. We are in 2023 officially. It's your old pal Jizzo here with a brand new story and a brand new year. I hope everyone had a good Christmas, New Year's, yada, yada, yada. I have a UK tour coming in November 2023. I'm very excited about, and here is the photo. It'll be cool coming back to the UK after a few years of nonsense. I can't wait to get back. And there will be touring in the States, of course, and there will be playing music here at home in my hometown. So it's great. Now, this particular story is a twist on my usual Sunset Strip, rainbow, whiskey, a-go-go thing. I have been talking about all these things from my first person viewpoint, but here is a story from another viewpoint. And I hope you dig it, and it's probably going to be lurid, so I'll put up the warning label. It is called The Platinum Club. Dig, if you will, the picture. 5 women seated around a large table at the very back of the Rainbow Bar and Grill, Hollywood, California. Aged between 28 and 40. 4 are damaged bleach blondes, 1 an equally battered brunette. This is the unofficial meeting place of the Platinum Club, a select group of veteran groupies whose status and membership is based solely on how many rock stars each one has f***ed, with record sales totaling more than 1 million units, hence the name Platinum. They are the elder stateswomen of the Hollywood rock scene, as solid as bankers and twice as hard. No one here is naive. All have slept with every musician when they were hot and f***ed the poverty when they were not. 5 old crows sitting on a fence, cackling and drowning their sorrows in drink, resentment, and cheap perfume. First is Angelica, age 28. Failed model, failed dancer, failed rock star girlfriend. She's typical. She moved here to Hollywood from bumfuck somewhere with visions of hooking up with a rock star and becoming a high-paid model, and has accomplished neither. Angelica is a trust fund kid whose parents have continued to support her upper middle-class lifestyle as long as she stays in school. Angelica has enrolled in and failed out of, in descending order, modeling school, cosmetology school, art school, fashion school, and now music school. The only schools left for her now are Clown College and the School of Hard Knocks. Next is Amanda, age 29. Ex-stripper, coke addict. Amanda boasts the lurid distinction of never having used a condom in all her sexual encounters. Her specialty, if you will, is to steal rock stars away from their current girlfriends with a combination of ambush tactics and psychotic behavior. When threatening phone calls or emails don't work, she's actually been known to show up at the rock star's house and physically threaten to break the door down. She can get a guy for 10 minutes, but cannot hold on to him. She constructs makeshift shrines to her would-be lovers cut from old pages of Metal Edge magazine and masturbates to them constantly to increase her power. Leanna, age 28. Like the others, Leanna has been a staple on the rock scene and as such been duly f***ed and tossed by all. She's done a few rock videos and some lingerie mags, but the work has slowed to a crawl, you see, due to her increasing mass and her shitty work ethic. Her MO is to find some no-talent loser musician, someone who has absolutely no chance of ever getting a record deal, and moving in with them. She supports the loser, but also goes out nightly to find someone better. She is terrified of being alone, but at the same time can never stay faithful to anyone. Cheryl, aka Jaws, age 41. Cheryl has had more cosmetic surgery over the years than Siegfried and Roy combined. 10 years ago, she was hot and f***ed her share of up-and-comers, but now she's become a bloated cyborg, reduced to working grocery store bikini promotions in seedy Mexican neighborhoods. She is called Jaws because any rocker unlucky enough to sleep with her will be subjected to a deluge of shark-like screaming, squeaky fromm behavior from hell. Death threats over the phone, confrontations in nightclubs, fake paternity suits, fake pregnancies, fake domestic violence charges. Glenn Close used this girl as a study guide when comprising her character in Fatal Attraction. Her ruthless behavior has forced many unlucky rock musicians to actually quit the business and leave town forever. And last but not least, we have Marcia, also age 40. If there was a president of the Platinum Club, then she would be it. She is called the Bike by local rockers because everyone's had a ride. Another ex-stripper, she has f***ed them all, large and small, fat and thin for a solid decade. She is also the only one of the bunch who has actually experienced the Holy Grail. She was actually married to a rock musician. Unfortunately, the marriage didn't last more than a year because she couldn't stop herself from cheating. She is racked with depression over the failed marriage, but is also in complete denial of why it happened. This is the motley bunch known as the Platinum Club. They consider themselves rock royalty of the Hollywood groupie scene. They can be found here most Friday and Saturday nights, drinking their fruity drinks, perched like buzzards, poised to tear apart any pretty girl that walks through the front door. What a fucking hooker, Cheryl grunted at the new arrival. Yeah, you just know that chick is a hooker, another one mumbled. See, any pretty girl or new girl in town is considered a threat and must be shredded by a vicious stream of gossip or outright physical violence. The older lionesses must eat their young. GD, Angelica said. Look at that chick sitting with that old guy. Yeah, she's a GD. As a group, they muttered their mantra. GD, GD, GD. GD stands for gold digger, and we all know what that means. Seeing the younger girls sharing a booth with the older rockers infuriated them, but also shamed them. Young girls are fresh meat, recently moved to LA from some small Midwestern town, hoping to be a model, hoping to marry a rock star. That girl has stars in her eyes. She can't believe it. She's sitting in a booth at the Rainbow with Joe what's-his-name, and they're holding hands. She's in lust with everything he represents. Money, fame, a walk down the red carpet, a home in the Hollywood Hills, and best of all, rock star sex. Were she to look over her shoulder, she'd get a good look at her future in the guise of 5 bitter old crones, 5 ex who sat in that same coveted seat not too long ago, 5 jaded hags who would gladly rip her arms off at the socket. I can't believe he's with her, Marcia said. She's so ugly. What does he see in her? She excused herself to smoke and on her way to the patio deliberately walked past Joe Rocker and his young quail, damning him and his kind for all eternity. The rocker looked up and through the veil of booze pretended not to recognize Marcia, although they had slept together many times. See, she was 5 years ago's conquest. She hadn't lost her looks, but she had lost something else, her newness. It's hard to get excited about a girl that everyone at the Rainbow has had, save the busboys, over and over again. Marcia walked past him and was ashamed again, ignored, not even worthy of being f***ed and tossed. She took a light for her smoke and sat, blushing bright red through her heavy pancake makeup. What went wrong? Why can't I get a man? I still have my figure. I look good. F*** these guys. Look at them. Most of them are fat and bloated from booze and late nights. They look like shit. Why can they still get the pretty ones? Why? Why can they still get the pretty ones? Why? Back at the table, Amanda fidgeted with her drink. She needed another line of Coke. I'll be back, she said. Gotta go pee. Okay, sweetie, Cheryl said. And when she was out of sight, can you believe that fucking whore? The girls at the table took turns shredding her. I heard she's hooking. Yeah, she looks bad. Yeah, fucking GD. GD. She's a GD. You see, no one is safe from the viper's venom, not even their own. All of these women have a fatal flaw in their DNA that keeps them from ever having any positive relationships. No matter how many times they fall for Mr. Right, it will always self-destruct because when you have been f***ed and tossed so many times, you are automatically conditioned to expect that something will go wrong. The hardest core groupies always prove to be the most insanely jealous, the most psychotic, the most obsessive. They can never trust a man because they can never trust themselves. And therein lies the rub. They construct meaningful relationships based on a one-night stand. Crying their eyes out, these girls will fall in love at the drop of a hat and throw a brick through the guy's window 2 days later. I'm so broke, Leanna said. Me too, said Angelica. My folks cut up another one of my credit cards. You can always come work with me, Cheryl offered. I'm doing a Corona beer promotion this Saturday. Yeah, Angelica said haltingly. Yeah, maybe. In reality, Angelica doesn't want to work. She hates work. She just wants to keep sponging off her parents. She had a very bad audition experience a few months back, and it has kept her from venturing out ever since. Over the years, Angelica has spent thousands of her parents' dollars trying to score the ultimate headshot, and none of her sessions had been fruitful. To be honest, she just wasn't that good looking. Her face either looked bloated or she sported those ever-present dark circles under her eyes from no sleep and partying. But finally, after years of trying, she finally managed to get the one shot. The perfect light and the right makeup, and of course, the requisite 4 hours of photoshopping had combined to give her what she had been searching for, a headshot that made her look beautiful. And to prove it, she quickly got a part in a movie based solely on that picture. On the first day of the shoot, she was busy in the makeup chair getting ready when suddenly the producer appeared with her picture in his hand. "This isn't you," he cried, holding up the picture. "This picture isn't you." "Yes, it is," Angelica said. "No," the producer shouted. "You're not hot at all. And this girl," pointing to the picture, "is beautiful. I want this girl in the picture, not you." Angelica started crying. She started freaking out. The whole room of girls and makeup artists were staring at her. "I am her," she cried. "I am her." And they fired her on the spot. After that, Angelica knew she could never face another audition. Like 90% of the girls out there, she couldn't back up her photo with reality. There was a hubbub in the bar. The conversation got loud and rowdy. A real rock star had entered. Doug from some band and his friends were ushered into the back booth and sat down amidst a flurry of oohs and ahs. It took less than 20 seconds for Cheryl to spot him with her groupie's eagle eye. "I f***ed him," she said, Pointing proudly, she opened up her purse and removed a small vanity mirror. She put a top coat of red lipstick on her surgically altered lip implants and proceeded to fix up her cyber face. "When did you go out with him?" Leanna asked. "Oh, not too long ago," Cheryl said, and then thought for a moment. "Well, it's been a couple of years." "Are you sure he'll remember you?" Leanna said. "He was on tour, la-di-da-di-da. He flew me out to be with him. I spent a week on the road with him. He flew me out," she emphasized. She got up and winked conspiratorially. "Don't wait up for me," she said to the other girls. The rock star was sitting in the corner with his two friends laughing and drinking a beer when Cheryl plopped down in the seat right next to him. "Hey, baby," she said. "Long time no see." Doug stopped talking and looked at her, tried to remember her, searching the memory banks of his past. So many girls, so many years. Have we met?" he asked innocently. "Have we met?" she said and laughed like a hyena. "You are so funny, sweetie. Have we met?" "Well, have we? We went out together, that's all. Remember when you guys opened up for Whitesnake?" That was a long time ago. That was like 10 years ago. "It was exactly 8 years ago." She looked at Doug's blank expression and suddenly her mood changed. She realized that Doug really didn't remember her. Then she got angry. "I can't believe that you don't remember me," she said loudly. "You don't remember flying me out? You flew me out!" Sorry," he said. "I just don't remember." "I don't believe this," she screamed. The other bar patrons stopped talking and listened in. "You fucking asshole! You flew me out! You flew me out!" "Well, so what?" Doug exclaimed angrily. "I fly a lot of chicks out." "You said you loved me, you asshole!" Cheryl banged her fist on the table. "You flew me out and you said that you loved me!" "I did? Well, at the time, maybe I did. But that was a long time ago. I can't be expected to fuck you!" And Cheryl threw her drink in Doug's face. "I always knew you were an asshole!" The other guys stood up angrily and brushed off their clothes. Security approached the table. "Look, mate," Doug said to the security guy, "we were just sitting here minding our own business when out of nowhere, this fucking groupie..." "I'm not a groupie!" Being called a groupie was the worst possible insult. Worse than whore, worse than slut, worse than hooker. Groupie was the worst. "This motherfucker told me he loved me. He told me, he said it. God damn it, he flew me out!" The big security guy pulled Cheryl away, kicking and screaming from the table. She clawed and cursed all the way outside until security deposited her out into the street. Marcia was still out there smoking and talking to someone when she saw her friend hit the pavement. "What happened?" she said. "They threw me out. They threw me out," she said and started to sob. Who threw you out?" "That motherfucker," she screamed. "Fuck him and his 2-inch cock." "Settle down," Marcia said. "Fuck that," Cheryl cried and stuck her head back inside of the bar. "Doug has herpes! Doug has herpes and he can't get it up!" Marcia listened to her friend rant and rave. "I almost got away from this," she thought. And for a moment, I was a real married woman and I was off the circuit. I had what I always dreamed of and I fucked it up. I fucked it up. My ex is still out there and I'm old and alone and I'm right back here where I started at this fucking rock bar. I never thought I would end up like this. I thought I'd be living in a big house with a maid and driving a Mercedes. I'm like the Flying Dutchman of rock, doomed to sail the seven seas, fucking cheap-ass rockers for eternity. Men get old and dignified, but women only get old, especially when they live the life and play the late nights. Like a goldfish swimming in the same small bowl, round and round with no rhyme or reason. Their destiny is to sit at the rainbow at this mad tea party with the other burnt out women and cast spells deeper than anyone's idea of Macbeth, hurling curses and abuses and drowning their sorrows and suffering recrimination and hangovers the next day. The long days turn into nights, and their modeling agents and their one-night lovers never call. Is that it? Is that it for me? I'll do anything. I'll suffer any indignity. Please, I'll do anything you want. Just get me off the circuit. Get me off the circuit. Get me off the circuit.